Hello and welcome to another beautiful day. It is Outnumbered live on your screen. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and of course, with me in the studio this morning, I have Anthony Nwokolo. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning, Ramsey.
Good morning, Christopher.
Good morning.
All right, let's take you straight to the headlines that we have for the day. And I want to start with the Nigerian Tribune, where we have one of the headlines says that Tinubu orders reopening of land, air borders, lift sanctions on Niger Republic. Niger Republic border has been closed for a while and now it's open. I think it's because the sanction has been lifted already. That you can get on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune. Then moving away from there, food security CBN awards 100 billion naira worth of fertilizers to agri ministry. I take that again. Food security CBN awards 100 billion naira worth of fertilizer to agri ministry. The details of that you can get on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. Then the big story from the Nigeria Tribune says aftermath of Ningi's outburst, you already know what's happening. At the National Assembly, Southern senators revive forum, elect Abiri as leader. Hmm. Southern senators revive forum, elect Abiri as leader. Details of that you can get on page 2. Okay, I thought I was going to say northern senators, but they said aftermath of Ningi's outburst, and I'm seeing that southern senators are reviving their own forum. All right, finally, no ransom will be paid. Federal government is saying this. As far as kidnapping is concerned, the federal government said no ransom will be paid, and the details of that you can get on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. And of course, that's going to be the size of the headlines from the Nigerian Tribune this morning as we move to the next paper.
On this day newspaper, the first headline says, to stem food inflation, achieve price stability. CBN gives 100 billion naira fertilizers to farmers. And there are some riders to that story. The headline, Kyari Bagudu hails Cardoso's intervention. Federal government announces commencement of distribution of 42,000 tons of grains in Northwest. Then the next rider says to raise $2 billion to connect 774 local government areas through fiber optics. And the story continues on page 10 of this day newspaper. The next headline, federal government directs immediate opening of Nigeria's land air borders with Niger Republic. And the details of that story is on page 10 of this day newspaper. And the big story on this day, Tinubu says no more ransom payments to kidnappers, reads Riot Act to security agencies. And then we have two riders to that story. The first one says government reviewing US orders offer to help. Then the next one says Wike assures of better protection in the FCT. And that's it from this day newspaper.
All right, and from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, CBN resumes agri funding with 100 billion naira. That story you can find on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. Well, while you were reading it from the other paper, I was thinking, which of the farmers are they going to give those fertilizers? Because we've known that over the years, when they say they want to give to fertilizers to farmer, they will rather give it to their political loyalists, and then the next thing is you find them in the market selling and reselling and rebagging. We pray that there should be a strict monitoring this time around. AIG Omokwede returns to access as Holdco chairman. Of course, AIG and the late Wigwe at their prime, I think he was 36 while Wigwe was 32 or 33 when they both found Access Bank. Now Wigwe is no longer there. He has stepped in just barely a week after the burial of his colleague. We wish his colleague rest in peace, and for him, a successful tenure as the head of Access Bank. Edo 2024, Shaibu Ojezwa challenge Ighodalo's candidacy in court. And a rider to that, anxiety in APC as court sits over candidacy, meeting over Ogbedia Mart's deadlock. That story you can get on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. Moving on, kidnapping, no ransom, no ransom payment to criminal elements. I think how sincere this statement is what we don't know, but we wish that as this is going on, the police, the family of the kidnapped ones, especially of recent, we've not seen where the child or the children of any politician is being kidnapped. So maybe if they want to sit up, we shall know if this statement is true or is going to hold firm. We shall know by the time one of their blood is being kidnapped. Okay, moving on. And the big story there, no, not the big story yet. Fresh adoption sign that impunity reigns, says Amnesty International. That story is on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Nigeria lifts sanctions on Niger, opens land, air borders. Page 2 of the Vanguard newspaper. And the big story there is more controversies over 3.7 trillion naira gap in the 2024 budget. You can find that story on the page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And that will be the size of the review from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Over to you, Ramsey.
All right, from the Vanguard, let's go to Daily Independent. And that's where we'll be wrapping it up this morning. Above the header, there is this headline that says PDP carpets Akpabio over 3.7 trillion naira budget pardon. Ningi's suspension. Just one rider to that story, and it says, ask him to step aside as Senate president. So many things happening. I don't know if you're taking note of it. A lot happening with Akpabio since his emergence as the Senate of as the Senate president. All right, but then let's see how this is going to end. From the presidency, we also have this one, which says no plans to discard student loan scheme indefinitely. No plans to discard students loan scheme indefinitely. All right, presidency is the one saying that. And that takes me to the big story today. And the big story says, I don't pay ransom to free Kaduna 280 abductees. Tinubu is the one saying this, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And two riders to that story. I think we'll have to talk more about this, and that's going to be later. As a matter of fact, the first rider said, task security operatives to bring them back home safely. Okay? Then the second rider says, swears in 17 NPC commissioners. All right, that's still from the Daily Independent. Then Bauchi governor backs suspended Ningi, vows to probe allegation. It's still an allegation until otherwise proven.
Remember, I said yesterday that the Bauchi PDP, the governor House of Rep, will not be happy with this decision and is going to tell more. In fact, PDP will start politicking from Bauchi State and they will conquer the North using this particular problem until this is reversed.
Ningi is about making a name.
For him to have resigned, it means there is something going on. I put it to you that in the next 2 weeks, you will start hearing calls from the west and east for Akpabio to step aside.
And see, one thing Akpabio doesn't know is the fact that since his emergence, when he emerged, some senators came up and said, well, this man is coming as a tool from the president, okay, from the president. That was what they were clamoring for. And they said they don't want him. From onset, some senators never wanted him. But for some reason, he's there today.
80% of the senators right now never wish that Akpabio become their president.
For me, I don't see. Well, I'm not feeling his impact. I don't know if it's because I'm not at the National Assembly, but as a Nigerian, I should feel it. All right, so that's the backing. Bauchi governor backs suspended Ningi, vows to probe allegation, and 3 riders to that story. Okay, Boji, all right, confirms Abdul Ningi's assertion. Then the second rider says suspension hasn't addressed vital question. This is coming from Peter Obi, and Peter Obi doesn't talk all the time, but anytime he's talking facts. All right, suspension hasn't addressed vital question. What Nigerians are waiting to hear is not what it's not suspension, it's not all this drama. You can't confuse us. Very intelligent set of people we are. All right. Uh, Sislak says suspension attack on freedom of expression. All right. And that's going to be the size of the headlines from the Daily Independent this morning. Let's quickly go on break. After this break, we'll return back with the big story. And when we say story is big on our number, you know what we're talking about. So we'll be back after this break.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleke TV. Visit our website at www.oweleketv for a thrilling journey. Oweleke TV, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back from that break. It is still outnumbered live on your screen with Ramsey, Antonia, and Christopher. Well, let's take you straight to the big story. Sometimes when things happen, someone says, whoever wears a shoe know where the pain is. That's a statement. That's by the way. Then one other thing again, one thing that I've personally discovered about this administration is the fact that we have a lot of saying, a lot of talks, but the actions are few. Nigerians are not really feeling the action. When you say don't pay ransom to free Kaduna 280 adoptees, or when you said no more ransom to kidnappers, when you say nobody should give a penny to these unscrupulous elements or these bad eggs, Nigerians will feel, yeah, the president has come out with something. Something has been put in place to checkmate insecurity in Nigeria, to stop kidnapping. I think the only way, all right, this very statement coming from the president will be taken seriously is when there is no kidnapping anymore. We remember what happened just, I think, a few months ago when, was it 3 or 4 sisters were kidnapped? And five even, five. And one was killed, and their father too.
And their uncle. Just the Nabia and her
Yes,
sisters
the
was
Nabia.
trending,
At the end of the day, one of them died. And to the extent that the friends of the family were the ones even making donation because of the life. And these people, see, I heard, when these people came to a house, a pregnant woman, in her face, they shot the husband dead and carried her 2 kids. She was heavily pregnant. This is just few out of so many. And at the end of the day, the people will not have any option. They will tell you, if you don't pay this ransom, before you know, they kill one of the people kidnapped and throw the corpse somewhere that you see it and know that one has been killed because ransom has not been paid. I think this is a good statement. I love it. I love it. I'm happy. And the reason why I'm happy is that I think the president is tasking security operatives to bring these kidnapped children back home safe. All right. If everything has actually been put in place to make sure there is no more kidnapping, there is no more insecurity in the land, then I would say this is a welcome statement. But then, if this statement is being made and kidnappers are still doing their business, heartless, heartless business, I call it, then I don't think this statement will go down with a lot of people. But then, payment of ransom is not even the way out. All right. So I think my colleagues will add their voice to the conversation at this point in time. Let me begin from Christopher. Christopher, you in almost all the papers this morning, you can hear the president saying, "No more from today henceforth. Don't pay ransom to anyone. All right, for any reason." And he was specific about the 280 abductees in Kaduna? What would you have?
80 that were adopted in Kaduna
It's,
State.
it's,
As at last week is 502.
okay. On the Daily Independent, yeah, it said
Five,
don't pay
500.
ransom to see Kaduna
This figure is for the border, not the school. Something the village on your way to Kaduna before you enter Kaduna. It's in Kaduna State, but something Guri or something. We mentioned it yesterday. This is the figure. They were the one. This is the adoption that the kidnappers said they should give them 20 something trillions for them to free the adoptees. But in this country, in the same Kaduna State,
You're referring to Kuriga, right?
yeah, exactly. In the same Kaduna State, the former governor of State was saying every of his appointees must make sure that their children attend schools in their local community. That security is okay, nobody will kidnap your children and all that. And because he wanted to be politically correct, he enrolled his son in a local school there in Kaduna. But guess what? That guy didn't finish 1 year before he removed his son from Kaduna. He removed his son immediately and took him to another school outside the country. Who is fooling who in this country? That is one. Recently, about 2 weeks ago, I was somewhere and then I saw the son of the president with about 25 security men. When last did you see policeman in your community? Akpabio, the Senate president, when last have you even seen his children on the screen? Talk more of them moving around. And each time you see them, Iyaloja, the daughter of the president, how does she move? The former vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Osimbajo, his daughter's office is in Zone 2 in Abuja here. You need to see, even up to now, security men are still fooling now. So who are they fooling? Now we are talking about 3.7 trillion that is being embezzled by 1.0 population of Nigeria, and then you are saying people should not pay ransom when they kill their child, like the example you gave, the five girls that were kidnapped. One of them was killed. You also gave example of a woman that the husband was killed, 2 children went away with, and she was pregnant. So before the president should come out to make this kind of statement, we expect that every security agencies must be at alert. The security architecture must be improved to make sure that every street is supposed to be I think 4,000 police, or yeah, 4,000 or 400 police to a community. But is that what we have now in the country? Imagine now the whole of Mararaba, you have just 2 serious police stations. Now, no, just imagine the population of Mararaba in Nasarawa State, and then you are bringing a statement for people to say, yes, I know that one of the effect of such statement is that you give people confidence, but the confidence goes to those who can afford security, not people like us. Leaving my house this morning now, if they seize my phone and kidnap me, you wouldn't have known my whereabouts. What happened to the what's it called? The CCTV, the project Obasanjo started many years ago. They removed everything. Nobody is even saying anything about it. In this country, people will come to go to a school, kidnap hundreds of students, no trace, no CCTV, nothing. By the way, why is it that our schools are not having CCTV? You have CCTVs in the National Assembly, the presidency, down to the street, that anything you do, you'll be captured. But the government cannot even invest to secure the life of properties, which is their number one constitutional provision.
What would it even cost the federal government to have security operatives in all schools in Nigeria?
Or even on patrol constantly.
Even on patrol constantly.
It's so funny.
The situation Nigeria has gotten to, the insecurity since we entered 2024. We've been singing on the news. It's every day on the news.
Every day.
Every day. From
Every
one
day.
abduction to another, from one kidnapping, bandits attack, and all of
Bandits,
that.
robbery, everything.
This statement, yes, we understand you're trying to give Nigerians confidence. You're trying to let them know you are in charge of the situation, but it is not enough. It is not enough. Security operatives need to be on patrol, on constant patrol. We need to see military checkpoints, not just on the road, but moving in the street. That's what gives the citizens of Nigeria the confidence to say, oh, and even the bad guys, they would know that there's an army checkpoint next
Exactly.
in the next street.
Yes.
So they would their activities will be minimal, as opposed to when they can move freely, go scot-free. They will harm
you
people,
can imagine
and you
these
cannot
people
even
come to
without
operate.
trace. Without trace.
When if you see them, if they operate, they don't even operate in a hurry.
They
don't do like someone
time.
is after them.
They
take their time. Okay.
Yes.
In my village,
you say, is it trailer they used to pass?
Yes. How long before that they cannot?
And they
before they put those children in whatever they came with.
My kid brother told me last night, because he traveled home, he just came back, and I told him, you were in the village where they robbed 3 banks. 3 banks. Yes, in my village.
It happened in Otuko.
Now,
today, those boys have not been caught.
UBA Bank in Ayimba is opposite Kogi State University. Access Bank is close to the biggest roundabout in Ayimba. What's it called? Union Bank is just after the roundabout, and the First Bank is down. So those 4 banks are like just within a kilometer. All were robbed.
And
all were robbed within the
around.
For
it's
that
unfortunate.
The one that happened in Otuko in Benue State, they robbed for a very long time. From UBA, they went to First Bank, they went to Zenith Bank. See, distant, like you said, distant from themselves, the banks. People were killed. In fact, up to today, nothing happened. If you see the video, I don't know, but then I think the president should not just make this statement, but then
let him go beyond words. We need actions. Let the security increase
security operatives.
Yes, tag them, increase them, give them
security chiefs, call them to order. Well, Nuhu Ribadu, call him. The security chiefs, call him to
By the
order.
way, there is even a problem now. The House of Rep is saying that they have given you 3 trillion naira, but security is worsening. By the way, why will you even? Sorry, I don't intend to malign the status of the police, but I'm saying this is the second time a retired police officer is made chief security advisor. For me, with the problem of Nigeria now, Nuhu Ribadu lacks the capacity to head that position.
Maybe because of his antecedent when he was EFCC.
These are different ball game entirely. EFCC,
All right, well, this is going to be the size of the big story for today on Outnumbered. Well, we can't finish talking about this. You can be part of the conversation by subscribing to the YouTube channel, Oweleketv, then turn on the notification button so you will be the first to get notified when detailed information, education, and of course, entertainment comes on the channel. My name is Ramsey, and it's been Antonia and Christopher. Do have a beautiful day. Bye-bye for now.